The Dog That Watched the Walls. It started the night they moved into the old farmhouse. Jake and Eliza had adopted Charlie, a quiet border collie mix from the shelter, just a week before. He was sweet, smart, and unusually calm. When they brought him to the farmhouse, a fixer-upper deep in the countryside, he sniffed around the yard, wagged his tail once, and then froze. He stared at the east wall of the house, completely still. "Probably smelling a mouse or something," Jake said, brushing it off. But Charlie did it again the next night. At exactly 11:06 p.m., he would sit in the hallway, facing the east wall, eyes unblinking, ears slightly back. He wouldn't move, not when they called, not when they bribed him with treats. Only after 3 a.m. would he get up, stretch, and go back to bed. Or in the scratching one night, as Eliza tried to sleep, she heard it. Scratch, 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 very faint. Just behind the east wall, she shook Jake awake. "Do you hear that?" Jake grumbled. "Mice. Or rats, but it didn't sound like mice. It was slow, deliberate, too heavy, more like fingernails than claws. They set traps called pest control. Nothing. Still, every night Charlie would sit, staring, frozen. His tail never wagged anymore. It was the footsteps. A week later, things escalated. Charlie began growling. Not barking, just a low, rumbling growl that vibrated through the hallway floor. It started right at 11:06, and he growled at the same spot in the wall until 3 a.m. Then one night, Eliza heard footsteps in the hallway. Heavy measured, one after another, but when she opened the door, nothing. Just Charlie growling in the dark, eyes wide and fixed on the wall. She noticed something new then. His eyes weren't just staring at the wall. They were following something behind it. Or the wall opens, Jake didn't believe it. He said it was the wind, or the dog getting old. But Eliza stayed up one night with her phone camera. She sat in the hallway at 11:05. Charlie was already there, silent. At 11:06, her phone flickered. The lights dimmed, then the scratching started. Louder, faster, then a soft knock. From inside the wall, Eliza gasped. Charlie stood and pressed his nose to the baseboard. Then, to her horror, the wood began to crack. Something inside the wall was pushing. The wallpaper peeled, the boards bent outward. And Eliza saw it. Fingers. Pale, gray, clawed fingers reaching through the cracks. She screamed, backing away, as Charlie lunged at the wall, barking wildly now, trying to keep it inside. Just as suddenly the wall went still. Silent. The truth. The next day, they called a contractor. He was pale when he returned from inspecting the wall. "There's a space behind that wall. A sealed room." They tore it open. Inside was a tiny chamber. Bare walls, a rusted collar, and on the floor, scratched into the wood with something sharp. "He waits in the wall. Feed him the quiet ones." They learned the farmhouse had belonged to a man in the 1800s known as the Collector, a recluse rumored to keep strange pets. That night, they packed up to leave, but Charlie wouldn't come. He stood in the hallway again, rigid, facing the wall, growling. When they tried to drag him away, he bit Jake's arm. A clean, intentional bite. He was staying, to guard the wall, to make sure it never got out. Some say you can still hear Charlie growling in that house after dark. And if you stand by the east wall at 11:06 p.m., you might hear a scratch and a soft knock, just for you.